This is Dr. Nina saying, check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Good morning and welcome to Wake Up with Dr. Nina. Today is Testimony Thursday. My name is Minister Maylene. I'm here to share with you the wrath of God on my life and then Him show me mercy and favor. But first, I would like to give honor to God because without Him we are nothing. Nothing would be possible. I would also like to pay honor to my spiritual parents, Dr. Nina Thomas and Prophet Dr. Andre Thomas. Okay, before I would have came to this church, I was very lost and very broken, living life out there where we think is well and a lot of fun. But then my world crumbled. When my world crumbled, I reached out to God. I cried out to God for my soul. And, He heard, as the forgiving Master He is, He heard me and He, rescued me. And I joined church. But even though that we do sometimes are rescued and we are like transformed or we are changed, we try to become sanctified, sometimes we can go back to things and allow a door to be open, and when that door is open and we cannot get it closed, it allows a lot of hurt or things that we thought we would have passed to return to our lives, and sometimes it can be worse than it first was in the beginning. So that is what happens to me. I open the door unknowing and allow so much to happen to me, and I became so depressed and lost. I stopped praying and stopped going to God. I started to lean on my own understanding. Even though I know there were things that were loving to happen to me that would be detrimental to my health, I continued to do it. Got in a position where I didn't care anymore. I was saying I wouldn't be healed. And, it got really bad. The prophet has spoken to me numerous times about carrying this hurt in my heart. I need to release it because it was destroying my well-being or destroying, things I want to do. There were so many obstacles that keep regressing worse and worse. I went deeper and deeper and deeper into depression, into slothfulness, into dogcarishness, and it was really becoming a threat to my life. So another person who cares for me would have spoken to the prophet, and it would have been called to what I would like to call an emergency meeting, where he spoke to me about what he perceived and what I need to do, and if I don't listen, what would it become of me? To be honest, what I was saying at that time was truly hurtful. It's nothing you want to hear about your life. You don't want to hear, but still, as you know, we are flesh. Sometimes we will be sad or alarmed when we are first spoken to, but as we move away from this situation, we tend to regress. Well, I still don't care. But he would have spoken to me on that Monday, the said week. And on the Thursday night, I remember sleeping. And in the middle of the night, I had this severe pain in my left shoulder, a pain I never had before. I remember getting up and rubbing my whole shoulder with alcohol. And then I don't remember nothing after that. After that, I just woke up in the morning. So I forgot, I just went back to sleep. In the morning, my daughter was in my room and she was speaking to me and I was talking to her. I was about to tell her, I was saying to her, last night my hand started to hurt me so badly and I didn't understand what it was. While telling her this, it came back and I was just saying to her, I said, it's coming back, it's coming back, it's coming back. But it was worse. So I just started to roll around and this pain was excruciating. I started to roll around and roll around and roll around, hold my hand and go back and forth. And I remember her telling me, Mom, stop playing now, it's not funny anymore. And when she said that, I remember laying back down and looking at my chest and seeing my heart get these 3 last huge beats. And all I could have said to her was, I am not playing, get help. And I was out. Well, being out completely out unconscious, couldn't hear nothing, wasn't there. She told me that I was there for such a long period of time as someone that's dead. That my mouth was open, my eyes were open, I wasn't moving, just laying there. And she was scared to come to me. She was just looking through the barn door. So she had to go and get help for someone. So when she got help, the person that came to the house would have called a doctor. And he would have told the doctor the situation I was in. So he was saying to her, he was hearing a sound from me. And she was saying to him, the sound of the person that died, they made a gurgling sound first. Obviously, it would be alarming because he knew that my daughter would want to hear this. But she also told me that they had called the ambulance and everything. They were waiting for the ambulance. And at first, they didn't have any ambulances. But then she said she called my son and he came, he tapped me and told me, "Mommy, get up." And I said, But she was saying to herself, wait, we didn't get up all the time, but I was still out. The next thing I knew, my eyes were open. I opened my eyes and I saw some persons taking me through a door. So I was saying, where am I? What am I doing? And the person said to me, we are going to the ambulance. So I was like, the ambulance? Yes. I went back out again. So when we got to the ambulance, I was there. There was no life. There was no pulse. They were trying to resuscitate me. The ambulance never moved. My daughter told me that the ambulance personnel said they can't move. They can't move yet because there's no pulse, and if they don't come, they would have to call the morgue. Obviously, that is something hard for your child to hear. Okay? But she said they kept beating and trying and beating my hand and calling me and trying and calling me and calling me and calling me and calling me. I would not come to. The last thing that had happened was one of the pastors would have called the said prophetess, the prophet of this house, and put her on video to see me. So as she called my name, I remember opening my eyes and I was like, "Mom," and she said to me, "Where are you going? We need you. What are you doing?" And even though that she's a very strong woman of God and stuff, in her eyes, I still saw the alarm. That's how I knew what was wrong with me. I saw the alarm in her eyes. And, for the love of her and all she does for us, and she prays over me, I just want to fight. I started back to fight again. And I remember the guy saying, "Oh, we got a little puck. Let's go, let's go, let's go." I think I got to the hospital in 2 minutes. In 2 minutes. Okay? And I was wielding. While I was there, I got another seizure. Another seizure. I saw family came to look for me. Friends came to look for me. And everybody was crying and wailing as though, they're just come to say goodbye. It's a very hurtful feeling to look at persons you care for and love, and persons who care for you and love you, and see them in that sort of pain because of your lack of interest for your life, because your lack of caring for your life. You're putting persons in that pain that is not necessary. Well, I stood in the hospital unbelieving for just one night. I remember that the Saturday morning, the doctor came to me and he said, I came here myself to see you. Because I do not know how you could have had 20 seizures. Imagine this, persons get one seizure and they get a heart attack. I had 20 seizures with a blood pressure that was ridiculously high. My heart didn't burst. I didn't have a stroke. I didn't have a heart attack. And I was sitting there in the morning speaking to the doctor, telling him the time what day it was. Isn't that God? Isn't that God? For me, I know the Heavenly Father moved away for me to understand the seriousness of my life and the seriousness that His child did to give me my life. And when I understood what I was going through, then He stepped in and showed me His power and brought me back from a place that no doctor or no medication could have brought me from. I hope what I shared here this morning touches someone, anyone with depression, and don't think that you can reach out. There are persons who've been through the same thing or more. That we are here, that we are willing to listen, we are willing to help, because we need to always walk in faith and not our own understanding, because God never promised us that there would not be bad days. He never promised us that everything would be smooth. He never said there wouldn't be obstacles. But what He did promise is that no matter what we go through, that He will always be with us. That we stand on His foundation of grace. And He keeps His word. He's not a man. He does not lie. He keeps His word. And He's always there. So take heart in knowing that It's a process. We have problems sometimes and we want it to be solved immediately, but it's a process. And if we wait on that process, it will come to fullness. I just want to thank you, my spiritual mother, Prophetess Nina, for allowing me to be here on this platform. I do not take it for granted. I know it's a privilege to be here, to be able to share on your platform. And I just want to give everyone thanks who would have tuned in this morning. I hope this testimony bless someone. And we will see you tomorrow on Prayer Fire Friday.